we're developing an app that is going to really revolutionize things. It's an AI doctor, 24 hours on your phone, and medical appointments, doctor appointments, follow-ups, referrals, but also it rewards you for good health practices. Because I'm a health guy, it rewards you for health practices. So every time you check into the gym, you get points. Every time you have good blood pressure or glucose check or whatever it is, that you get rewarded with actual Medi Token. So you actually can make money by health practices. And this is more geared right now towards the 62 and older, but it's for everybody. But we just did the model because it's so much harder challenge as you get older to make doctor's appointments, to talk to the doctor, to get through to anybody anymore. You can't just call your doctor and talk to them. Now you can get on your app, talk to them instantly and get real answers and referrals and prescription refills and everything.
Welcome back to Podcast on Wheels. I'm your host, Brian Smith, and today we've got one of my best friends right out of Las Vegas, Mr. Greg Finney. Greg, welcome to the show, brother.
What's up, man? Glad to be here.
Brother, we had you on the show before, so this is a repeat guest, and the reason I wanted to bring you back, people got to know you in the beginning when, the first episode, if you will, but you've got some new exciting things going on. Your social media is blowing up. You're helping a lot of people, so let's start with Akashics and tell us a little bit about what that is and how that works and how it could help people.
Yeah, so Akashics is, trading is something I always wanted to get into. I started trading in the late 90s, lost a ton of money, didn't know what to do. People give you bad information. There was no real internet or YouTube or anything to try to learn from, and just gave me a bad taste in my mouth. But I always was, I don't want to say envious, but every time I met somebody and they're a trader, I kind of wanted their life because I worked 60, 70 hours a week. I made millions of dollars and made tons of money, but I had really no life. I had restrained relationships with family and kids, everything, because I worked so much, and, I see traders, they're, I'm working in Thailand, I'm working here, I'm doing this. I found Akashics about 2 years ago. And what it is it's a virtually assisted training platform. It's a complete education platform. Not only will it teach you how to trade, it'll help fund you so that you can make money that way too while you learn. And at the same time, if you bring people in, it's an affiliate setup. You bring people in, you can make money off of other people coming in too. So I sold my company, moved out to Vegas, went all in with this about 24 months ago. And now it's led to other things in the trading and crypto industry that I'm doing. But if anybody's out there wants to learn how to trade, and you don't want to spend your own money and break the bank, this will teach you everything. It'll teach you, it's day trading. It'll teach you crypto. Teach you stock buying. There's over 30 educators on the platform. It's just an amazing platform, and you could leverage, all the resources of the platform. People take, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years to in college, have $80,000 in debt, come out, maybe get a job making 50 grand a year. You can jump into this, and for a couple $1,000s, you can learn a skill that you'll have the rest of your life. I literally work an hour a day now. I trade in the morning, the New York Open, and that's it. I work an hour a day. The rest of my days, just introducing this to people, doing my social media, bringing people and showing them the opportunity. And I love it. I get up when I want. I go to bed when I want. I do what I want now on my terms, which is, just a godsend.
Amen, brother. And when I met you, you were kind of in that transition into Vegas, and we talked about how that physically hard you used to work. I mean, with your company that you used to have, you had your hands and we in something, working something, driving a truck, loading things and doing that literally 60, 70 hours a week up until you started this program, right? Yeah, I remember when I
Yeah,
first met you. Yeah, go ahead.
it was unbelievable. I'd get to work at 5:30 in the morning. I'd get out of there at 6 if I'm lucky. Have to go to the gym. By the time I come home, there's just no life. It's all the money in the world. Yeah, you're stacking money and saving money, but if you can't enjoy your family and your kids and friends, what's the point of it? I was literally even though I'll take that over a 40-hour work week for somebody else, it's still I was a slave and a prisoner to my business, and it was a life that I loved and I accepted, and I was, I made money most would dream of having, and I had a life that most would dream to have. But it just I knew there was more. And then when I met John Herenza and John Merlot and some of these big guys in this industry and saw the life they lived, that intrigued me so much that I did, I made the leap of faith, sold my company, and literally moved out here to be closer to those guys and really focus, put my head down. And it was a grind. It wasn't easy. And I don't know everything yet, but I'm to the point where I'm at the top of the mountain going down the bottom side now.
Yeah. Well, I'll share a personal story on that note. The last trip that we had to Vegas, we were riding around in your vehicle and your phone made a noise. And I said, "What is that?" And you said, "Well, I just paid for dinner." Like that's how simple that can be, right?
Yeah, because if you don't know anything, you start out with Tap to Trade, which is an app on your phone. You don't even have to; it'll just message you. It's kind of like dating: swipe left, swipe right. Somebody it tells you, "Do you want this trade?" And you say yes or no. If you take the trade, the professional educators do the trade, execute it for you, so you don't have to do anything. And I still do some of that, but now I have enough experience that I take my own trades now. We also have a Zeus wallet, which is a crypto wallet where you mirror somebody else's wallet, the educators, and they have a pretty big win rate too, and they just take all your trades for you with crypto. So I do a little bit with that. I do a little bit with Tap to Trade, and then I trade myself. And like I said, I just started following an educator. I would get on live Zooms, like we're on this podcast now. I'd be on a live Zoom, and I would just follow what the trader was doing. I would take his trades. Didn't know anything. I just learned enough how to take a trade, which is super simple. And I'm not a computer guy by no means. I'm old school. I had a system for 20 years. My daughter last 10. I didn't touch a computer until, 2 years ago. And but I learned how to do just 5 things you have to do to be able to take profit, sell, move stop loss, all that stuff. Didn't know about any of that. I learned those 5 things, and all I did is follow the trade. Now I'm doing moving averages, high rise, Fibonacci's, or orb, opening range breakouts. I'm learning all those things now. The MACD. These are all things because I saw the money I can make with it following somebody, and then me just always wanting to make sure I can only rely on me. I didn't want to rely on the educators. So now I've been just deep dive in it, and really, really, really learned a lot about it. And I'm not an expert by any means, but I'm profitable and I'm making enough money to sustain my lifestyle.
Yeah. And our guys that are watching this show, a lot of people that watch this show, they'll see maybe your social media or they'll see things and say, well, I'm not sure I could have that life. But guys, Greg is a true friend. Like when I go to Vegas, I stay with him, we hang out, and I've seen him struggle getting his phone hooked up to his Bluetooth. Okay. He's not a computer guy. He's not somebody that, has a forte of tech. And that's one reason we get along so well because I'm still a pen and paper guy. But as we are evolving with Akashex as well, brother, it's becoming like, okay, now we can look at the last 30 days and we can see what our averages are. And we also understand how to manage it now, right? We understand how to risk, what to do. And that's all been provided from the educators in relationships with Greg. So, if somebody wanted to get into Akashex, is that something they could message you? How would somebody even know how to get into that?
Well, they could actually message you or me. Honestly, I brought you in. I would almost prefer them to message you. And but I mean, you can go to Greg Finney FPA on Instagram and just send me a DM that you're interested in trading, or reach out to you. This is your audience, so if people can reach out to you, full transparency. You got involved with it. You saw the opportunity. You saw how good it is and how lucrative it can be. But you could lose everything too. There's people that come in and they don't they just don't apply themselves. It's the easiest hard work I've ever done in my life. And I'm leveraging other people's money because you get what's called a prop account. Well, and you get a prop account, and that prop account is where you spend a minimal amount of money, $100, but you get to leverage $10,000 worth of trading and keep 80% of the profits. And if it loses, you don't lose any money. You're not at risk. So, when I got into trading, I lost $100,000, in 96 of my own real money. Here, yeah, I burned a couple prop accounts in the beginning, but I don't think I got $1,000 in this that I've lost. And I've made, a lot more than that.
Amen. Amen. And that's the one thing that I want people to understand about this program is we did the same thing. We messed up on the first try, but it was okay because it was a limited amount of money, something that we could afford to risk and then understand. And then you get the education because there are some people out there that say, "Hey, I want to learn how to do this, but I don't have $100,000 to put in like you did in 96." Right. And it's a way to kind of walk into it, crawl before you walk, and then you can get to run. And we're on that verge of running. We're still learning. And I think this is something that intrigues me because can even though the educators and we see the millions of dollars literally that are made in this business, and we go, okay, we can continue to get better. And I think that's another thing about us is we like to continue to learn and grow. And that's why it's a great fit for us. So I'm forever grateful because I have, like you said, I wanted to do it. If I can do something from home, excuse me, right now in my situation with having two little boys that, we got soccer practice this afternoon, right? We got games tomorrow, and we can work on our time zone central, 8:15 to about 9:45 is about the time that we log in and we listen and we go through the program and we set everything. By 10 a.m., we're done. We're done, you know, and then we can go out
Yeah.
and grow other businesses. But literally by 10 a.m., that's done, right?
Yeah, same with me because, I'm in Vegas. By 7:30 in the morning, I'm done. I go to the gym. I get out of the gym 9:30, 10 o'clock. My day is done. Like gym done, everything. Back before, I'd be leaving the gym at 10 p.m. at night and have to be to work at 5:30 in the morning. It's literally, and there's people that trade all day long. There's people that, are obsessed with it. I trade an hour a day. That's it. Literally an hour a day, Monday through Friday. And then I trade the open on Sundays at 3. And that's one that I do on my own actually. And I've done pretty well with it. But and there's so many other strategies, so many other ways to do it. I just teach people the one that I learned, like I showed you guys. I follow that educator in the morning, Jeremy Hall. He's amazing, brilliant. He's retired himself at 26 years old. I follow him. There's so many other trade. I haven't even touched the surface of everybody else, but I figure for me, I like to keep it super simple, stupid, and I resonate with. I understand with them. It's one of the most consistent the early or the opening range breakout is like one of the most consistent ways to make money in in marketing. One of the thousand strategies there's probably out there. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm not trying to learn a ton of strategies. I keep it simple. I follow one educator. I follow him in the morning. I trade an hour a day. I never bet more than 5% of my account. I trade on a $50,000 account that cost me like $300, and I keep 90% of the profits of it. And I mean, the worst that'll ever happen is I lose $300. I buy another account, but I've been on a pretty good run with this one. So I've been pretty profitable.
Yeah, and Greg, you are like a brother to me. We'll call each other sometimes, and we'll talk about things, and we'll go in depth, or but I will share with our viewers that you don't try to sell anybody on anything. You're not trying to promote it. You're not like, hey, come one, come all. It's like, hey, if this interests you, I will educate you about it, and then if it fits, it fits because you almost tried to talk me out of it when we were in your vehicle that day, but you picked me up at the airport. We went by John Harem's house and got a few things, and I see his house and I see what the view looks like in the pool. And I start going, hey, hold on now, hold on. What does he do? And you're like, oh, well, he does this, and then you let it be. And then on our way back to the airport, you're like, if you're interested, let me know. That's how that Greg has taught me about this business. So if you contact me, I'm just going to follow the leader right there. I'm just going to follow the leader and help you guys if you want the help. And this is something you want to do. So yeah, it's Greg, I'm forever grateful for that opportunity.
Yeah, I don't pressure anybody into it, because I'm going to make money regardless of my trading. But what I love about it though is the fact that now, I had 85 employees. I provided a good job. I thought I paid at a higher scale of the national industry standards. I really like to say I like to think I was a good employer. I had a very low turnover rate, but I never really provided like life-changing income for anybody or a skill. No, even people that like talk to me, they're like, "Hey, I need to make money. I need to do this," or I'm hurt. And instead of give somebody money, like to, give a guy a fish, you feed him for a day, teach him how to fish, feed him for his life. It's the same with this. Now I have people that are actually learning and building a skill. I had a girl, and I might have told, I'm sure I probably told you this, but she was a bartender for 5 years. She didn't give her Thursday, Friday, Saturday. She didn't give her kids a kiss goodnight because she had to go in and bartend. And I got her in it. She's a total introvert, doesn't like to talk to people, doesn't like to, and now she's one of my top producers. But she doesn't like to talk to people. I said, listen, if you have anybody that's interested, get them on a call with me. I will do the selling. I will do the talking. I will do the present the opportunity to them to help them out. And I do that. That's all I do now is I help people bring people in. So they don't even have to know what they're doing. They don't have to know how to do it. They just have to say, hey, if you're, I don't know your income, I don't know your financial situation, but if you're looking to make anywhere from, an extra couple $100 a week to, a full-time living, would you be open for a 30-minute call? Well, she sent me a video a few months later of her kissing the kids goodnight and said she got to quit her bartending job. And now she's working towards making enough money to quit her full-time job and homeschool her kids. Like it's like I changed I didn't. She took the work, she took the leap, she did it. I presented the opportunity that ultimately changed her life forever. And if I could say one more thing, like me, what which was huge, as my mother's been going through some health issues. Shelly Finney, if anybody, power of prayer, man, say prayers for my mother. She's a strong woman, but I've had to been flying back and forth, and she's had all these surgeries. I'm literally my company would have suffered so much if I didn't have this. I literally traded from the side of a hospital bed. I traded in the waiting room. I traded from the hotel. Anywhere you have Wi-Fi, you can not only trade, you can bring people in and introduce people to opportunity. Everybody needs to make money. Everybody wants to make side money. And this is a great way that you can learn and earn and not have to quit your day job.
Yeah, and Greg, that's a great point, brother. You're now teaching people how to fish, and I don't know if you had a bug in my house or not, but Courtney and I had the conversation just a few weeks ago that as long as we have Wi-Fi, we can now make money. We can take our boys to a trip, we can go somewhere, we can come visit you. We can make money. And in the past, like you said, it was if I'm not there with my hands in the equipment or working on this, we weren't getting paid. And that's a tough way to live. It's a tough way to live, man. So, yeah.
Um, Most people, that's the only way they know. I mean, even me, I knew I've never really had a job. Um, I've always worked for myself since I was 16. I've 17 businesses, 30 years. Made and lost millions of dollars, probably lost more than I've made. And, but I knew I never wanted to work for somebody. I knew that was a scam. It's a setup. It's just, we're sheep in a pasture. And I knew I didn't want that. I knew I wanted to work for myself because I was never going to have to ask somebody if to go to a doctor appointment or ask somebody if I want to go see my cut out early and go see my kids at their soccer game or bike racing or whatever it was. So I knew that I wasn't, but I knew I'm not the I don't want to say I'm not the smartest guy, but I'm not the most educated guy. and I just work, grind for myself, and became very successful doing it. And that's the life I knew, but I didn't know there's ways to work smarter, not harder. And it took me 50 years to learn that. I started this when I was 50. I'm 52 now, and I just love it. The time freedom I have is I'm pretty much like basically retired. I mean, I work from home. I work from the side of my. It's a dream. It doesn't even seem like reality to me, honestly. From where I came from and the background from the way I worked nonstop. Now I am working a lot now. Don't get me wrong, but this work is now is I'm getting on Zooms. I'm getting on third party calls, reaching out, and I don't even really push and reach out to people. I just post my wins, and people reach out to me and ask me about it, and I tell them about it. And if it's for them, great. If it's not for them, hey, I showed them an opportunity. And some people they get afraid that they can't do it, and that's where I come in and I do explain. I'm like, I am. I mean, you know how long it took me to learn how to cut and paste, like, and it's simple now. But I mean, you don't know what you don't
Right.
know. Like I still struggle with files and things. I'm learning how to navigate around a computer, but for the trading, you can know less than nothing. And that's because of my friends and my circle. Most of them are same with me, old school blue collar guys. And I'm able to transition them into this so easy.
Right. And that's, guys, he's 100% on point, and I know that for fact because we have gotten in it now and we understand it like where he was a little bit behind, we're just catching up. And Greg, you continue to evolve and grow. Thank you for that because I can keep chasing you, right? I mean, that's a goal of mine. Is like, Greg, I've been in your house, I've been in your vehicle, I've been in the pool. Like it's a beautiful place, and it would be really cool to think, hey, I can go out there and have that life in a few years when my boys get older and enjoy it. Now, I do want to say, you say not working, but working, but when you're working to help other people, truly help other people and getting to be around the people that you're getting to be around now, like it's just a different mentality, right? You're looking at things different.
Yeah. People always just tell me, if you find something you love and make money at it, it's not work. And I never believe that. I'm like, work is work. This isn't work, really.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
isn't. I really like where I'm at in life right now. Like I'm finally, at a place spiritually, mentally, emotionally, financially, where I want to be. And it's only getting better from here. And it was a learning curve, and it's still a learning curve. I mean, I lost $450 this morning, but I'm done
Yeah.
for the day, but I make
Right.
1,200 yesterday. So it's I set my risks, I have my formula, I have my set of rules, and I don't break my rules. It's if you just set a set of rules, which we help you with, and pain thresholds, and you stick to that, that's the biggest thing. We're emotional creatures. It's hard to not be emotional in this. But if you could put the emotions aside, I don't recommend this for big gamblers, because this is a calculated, educated gout
Yeah.
versus just going to the casino. You know, but the guys that are big gamblers that come in are the ones that struggle because they keep the emotions in it. I'm not a gambler, so I know I gambled with you a couple times when we were out here just to have fun, but
Yeah.
we weren't like just and dropping 8 grand. I spent
No,
a
no,
hundred.
we weren't. We weren't. What's up to Winslow though? But yeah, it's like I've been through the casino, and we're when I go to casino with you, we're going to meet somebody to look at an opportunity to talk about things in business. And as far as putting money on a table, unless you're paying for dinner, I hadn't seen you really do that. So yeah, I mean, and that's right. So, and we took a hit yesterday, and Courtney came in and she's like, "Oh, it was 280. I think that we lost yesterday." But it's like it's okay because when you look at the whole week, like you do, you're not so consumed with that one day. You have to be able to understand there's a big picture, and business owners understand that in a way, and I hope they understand it better that you can't look at daily. But if you look at monthly and you start going, okay, here's what I'm doing, that's awesome. So The next thing that I wanted to make sure that we talked about on this show was, um, I say you called me a month, 6 weeks ago. You told me about this new thing. We got into that. So I'll let you take it from here and tell us about the Meta Token and go for that.
Yeah, so I actually there's two parts of it. I partnered up with some brilliant guys in this space that are in the crypto space and tokenizing real world assets. So we formed a partnership and we started a business where we actually create coins. This isn't meme coins where people pump and dump and get out. These are real world assets where that we tokenize. For example, the one we're in right now is medical intelligence, short for Medi, and we're developing an app that is going to really revolutionize this. It's an AI doctor 24 hours on your phone and medical appointments, doctor's appointments, follow ups, referrals, but also it rewards you for good health practices because I'm a health guy. It rewards you for health practices. So every time you check into the gym, you get points. Every time you have good blood pressure or glucose check or whatever it is, that you get rewarded with actual Medi token. So you actually can make money by health practices. And this is more geared right now towards the 62 and older, but it's for everybody. But we just did the model because it's so much harder challenge as you get older to make doctor's appointments, to talk to the doctor, to get through to anybody anymore. You can't just call your doctor and talk to him. Now you can get on your app, talk to them instantly and get real answers and referrals and prescription refills and everything. So, and it's backed by a company, this lady, amazing woman. She came into the country on with like 40 bucks in her pocket, a softball scholarship and a D1 school. And she didn't even speak English. So she had all the racial tension and everything else that went through it. And she built this massive medical practice that is spread over 7 cities. And she has hospice centers, she has general practice centers, she has rehab centers. And we combined with her and her story and her assets, and we created a token. And the token actually just broke its all-time high this morning. The token's like 48 days old. It's on Phantom. We're looking to take it to 100 million market cap and get it on Coinbase and Binance because it's got real assets behind it. It's not these meme coins where someone gets in, they pump it real quick and dump it in 30 seconds. We're 45 days strong and growing. Plus, if anybody wants to tokenize their company, we're launching some more tokens here soon. If you have a big real estate company, car dealership, whatever it is, if you have assets, we can tokenize you and it raises money for you. You make money, you build assets. It's just amazing. And for everybody out there listening, you better catch up with AI and crypto because it's here to stay. Cash is dead. Everything that's going on blockchain. This government that we have right now is very pro it. So the next 3 years, everybody's going to be paying with crypto. Everybody's going to be on blockchain. Everybody's going to be learning this. It's the fastest, easiest way to move money. I knew nothing about this stuff, nothing and I put a little work in, watched a lot of YouTube videos, went to a lot of events, and this is the life I'm after now because if it's the way the world's going.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you the reason I just grabbed my phone is because I wanted to open my Phantom wallet and it looks better than it did before we started the call. And my 7-year-old Brooks, one of his favorite things is to get mom's phone and check on our Meta account that Uncle Greg told us about because like that's how we roll, bro. My kids are now understanding and learning this because I had no way to teach them, right? And for me to be able to say, okay, I don't know how to do this, but I do know Greg and he knows this person and they were able to do this. And now my boys are going, hey, dad, I'm never going to have to get a job. I'm never going to have to work. These are things that they're learning. So, you know, if nothing else than that is being able to teach the next generation and our kids, like, hey, This is where it's going. And that's just a cool story I wanted to share with you because I hadn't got to tell you that part yet. But Courtney and I also have a health insurance business. And this just lines up with everything that we do because we see what health insurance can cost people if they're not going to the gym, if they're getting bad results. And to incentivize that and then allow them to make money on that, that lined up with everything. I'm sure you could say this. You can't say yes to every business opportunity. We don't have time to do that. You just have to pick and choose. But when I can check boxes and then help people that I'm already helping that entrust us to be, our clients, and my kids are getting to learn, bro, I'm ecstatic. And I don't want to jump up and show the screen because of the way it works. But, you know, these opportunities are they're they're out there. You just got to know the right people to talk to, right? So
And
tell
that's why I
us,
moved to Vegas myself, to be around all the people that are doing it.
yeah. And as these things continue to develop, if somebody wanted to get in with that, is that something they could DM you, set up a call, talk to you about that?
If you don't know much about crypto, I could walk you through the whole thing, how to set up a wallet. For me, when I first had to set up a wallet, I might as well have been speaking another language. I'm like, I'll never, there's no way. Once somebody helped me set the wallet up, I'm like, that was it. Like they've made technology very easy, and I remember when when I first tried to use a computer, it was like you had to put a disk in, and then you had to find the file, and you had to do this, and you had to do that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and then someone show me something, and I'd forget it 5 minutes later because there's so many other things. This is super simple. You go to an app store, you download the app, and I show you how to press a couple buttons. You fund your account, and now you're in the game. And they've made it so simple that you can do it. The best way to do it is on Phantom Wallet or Jupiter Wallet. I prefer Phantom myself. And then eventually this token itself will be on the one of the bigger blockchains, with Coinbase and the other ones. But Phantom's a very reputable one. Um, Everybody uses it. They have tons of people using it. And it's fun too. Like it's actually, I enjoy it. I feel smarter when I talk to people and I tell them what I do.
Yeah.
I
Well,
sound fan because I'm a guy before, I owned a large waste industry company. I was giving containers to construction sites and trash cans. I was a trash man, you know,
yeah.
called
Yeah.
myself a trash. Now I'm literally a crypto developer and trading. I'm not an expert, but I feel I'm a trading authority and educator now. Because I can bring people, and that's at the end of the day, man. It just aligns with me so good because I love to help people. I do stuff out here for homeless. I do what I can, but I love to help people. I'm helping people change their life. I have a kid just got out of military, Evan. 26 years old, did his 4 years out of the military, no education really, doesn't know what he's going to do, not qualified for much. He did 4 years as a grunt, and I got him in this. Was dad actually got him on a call with me. This kid's loving it. I mean, he knows, he's been like 3 weeks and he knows more than I know, and he's already passed his challenge account and everything.
Well, I want to share a real world story for what Greg's explaining here. Take it back to that Saturday after Greg told me about it. We got on the phone on Saturday. I dropped my kids off at my mom's house. She lives about 40 minutes from my house. Dropped my kids off. Courtney and I were going to have date night. In the truck on the way from my mom's house back to my house, we had the Phantom wallet set up. We had the money in the account. And that was pretty much it. In about 40 minutes, as we went down the road, we were able to set this up with your help. So literally, it was 30 to 40 minutes that it took us to get this all set up. So yeah, that's how simple it is.
Yeah,
So
if anybody's looking that don't anything about it, contact me. I'll walk you through it. And if it's not for you, I don't mind. I love doing this because I know how it can change someone's life. I know what it can do for somebody. Yeah, it's disappointing if they don't follow through or they don't do it. But it doesn't hurt me. It doesn't cost me any money. And but the reward is that one person, because crypto, only like 5% of the population is involved in crypto right now. And it's changing rapidly, rapidly. I saw a statistic, I forget what it was, but the amount of new wallets people are setting up is all-time highs, and it's like 2 and 3xing, like literally like daily, because so many people are seeing, this is the way of the future. I mean, I remember when internet came out, I said it was a fad. Nobody's going to use the internet. Look at it now. I can't imagine life without it. I remember texting. I was like, I'm not going to text anybody. This is stupid. Why would I'll just call you. Why would I prefer to text now?
Right. No, that's true.
The same thing with crypto. It's coming whether you like it or not. AI is coming whether you like it or not. AI is good as bad as it's ever going to be right now today. And that's scary because I use AI for everything. I use it as a counselor. I'm having a bad day. Hey, this is what I'm experiencing right now. And the AI will tell me what I'm experiencing and how to cope with it, deal with it. If I need to write a paper, AI. I just wrote my book with AI. I mean, it's unbelievable, and that's where I'm at. I spend my free time, that when I'm not with my family, my free time is learning crypto, stocks, trading, and AI.
Yeah, if this camera was turned towards the couch here in the studio, and I know you know what that is, Courtney's sitting over there right now on a laptop working on chat and building some stuff out right now. I mean, that's exactly what we're doing to stay ahead because, I'll tell you, the first time somebody showed me how to check my email on my phone, I said, "Why would I wanna check an email on a phone? Like, why?" And, I remember the phones where you had to push the buttons to get, the 3 digits or letters and you gotta tap. I'm like, "I'll just call you, bro," and now I open the Phantom wallet. I get on the calls in the morning. I'm seeing and we're drawing lines, and it's like, this is easier. It really is. It really is, and when you're making money and you're having fun and you're getting to enjoy life. I mean, like you said earlier, we worked our butts off. We couldn't really enjoy the fruits of our labor, and now we can do that. So, what are some things that, Greg, that you may want to share with people outside of Akashex or that token, and just what are some other things that if somebody's going through this or going through that, like in business or life, like because you always have a way of sharing those things that resonate with me, and I know it will our audience.
Yeah, I absolutely. I mean, I'm never short of words, but I just tell people, step out of your own way. If you want, it's never been easier to make money, to make changes, to make, when we had books, that was it. And we had to go to the library and look at index cards. You know,
Yeah.
now you can get a book right on your computer. You can go to YouTube for anything. I mean, when I first started my business, I was my own mechanic, not because I'm a mechanic, because I would look up everything I needed to fix on YouTube. Anything you want to do or be, you can do. You just got to step out of the way, overcome your fear, and put the work in. So many people want to, someone to rescue them. They want to play victim. They want to play circumstances. Man, I had a rough life, man. I grew up without a father. I grew up in bad neighborhoods. My mom worked 2, 3 jobs. So I had tons of time on my hands. I had no real mentors when I was younger, made every mistake you can make. And then then next, you're adult, you don't know what you're going to do with your life. I tell people, you have the ability to life is hard. You can either make it hard and profitable and make money, or you can suffer going to a job you hate every day, dealing with employers you don't, and not having a life. You invest in yourself. They say, you can't stop the hands of time, but you kind of can slow it down by buying time back. I bought time back. Grant Cardone made us something that was really funny. And he said, "My jet's not a flex," because he's got that big old jet. It's not a flex. He goes, "My jet is because I bought time." He goes, "I fly somewhere every week, 2 hours in the airport when I get there, get my bags when I'm done, 2 hours early, layovers, everything else. I walk up, get on my jet, 10 minutes, I'm in the air. He bought time back. This is a much more affordable way to buy time back because you spend a little bit of time, you invest in yourself, you put the work in. And I don't want to hear anybody say, I don't have time. Nobody was born with their calendar full. You chose to fill your calendar up with the things that you feel are necessary or you want in life. You could work a full time job and still invest in a side business, a side hustle, educating yourself on the side. It takes work. I used to work. I did. I'm a big on self development. Ed Milet changed my life. He has the 3-day work week in a day. What he does is he works from 6 in the morning to 12. That's an 8 hour workday. From 12 to 6, that's another 8 hour workday. From 6 to 12, it's another 8 hour workday. He sleeps 6 hours, he gets up and repeats. I do more, and not so much now because I've put the work in, but I would do more in a day than most people would do in 3 or 4 days. So just you got to believe in yourself. Don't let your family, your friends, anybody kill your dreams, and keep them dreams. The only difference between a dream and reality is putting the work in.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for the guys out there that are married and like what has that done for relationships in the house? What has that been able to do for you there?
Oh my God. So my wife works from home, but she's also getting her PhD. But like we're all, the nice thing is we have a relationship where we could both be in the house doing our own thing and not even say a word the whole day. We're very fortunate. But the nice thing is, when the first, 3 years, we'd see each other an hour or two if she's still awake when I get home from the gym. We hardly spent any time together. Now we have breakfast together, lunch together, dinner together. Maybe this is not for you, those guys that aren't happy in a relationship, but if you're happy, I'm with my best friend. It's amazing being at home.
No, I again, I can attest to that because yeah, when Courtney and I first got together, similar to you, we would be FaceTiming, I'm on the road or we're calling or I'm coming in at midnight. She's had to put the boys to bed and I'm up and gone. And it's like, you lose that. And that was the reason I wasn't happy at certain times at that point. And that's why I wanted to hit that during this show because, she's sitting right over there right now and we're going to be able to make money today and enjoy massage this afternoon and and then maybe we go to dinner, maybe we don't. It's just kind of like, hey, we're getting this time together to appreciate each other, enjoy life together, and then help so many more people. So, Greg, is there anything that I missed or anything that I didn't cover in the show that you'd like to share with the viewers?
No, I'm super happy to be here. I love talking to you, on camera and off camera. I love your wife and family. You guys are just amazing people. I'm so blessed to have you guys in my life. When we first met and we started talking about faith and two big burly tattooed guys talking about faith, it's you don't see that enough, out there. But just anybody out there that's struggling and not happy. I have been depressed. I've been down. I've been suicidal. I've had points in my life I didn't want to go on, but I always look at that thing. I'm one pickaxe away from making it. Just meet people, talk to people, you know, look at your options. You're one person away from changing your whole life. So shake every hand you can shake, say hi to every person you can say hi to. Just go out there, put yourself out there, meet people, educate yourself. And if you don't like where you're at, you can change it. You can start today. You can, when you get done watching this Zoom, you can literally start today to make the changes in your life. It's scary, it's hard, it's work, but the benefits of it is you can have the life you want. You just got to believe in yourself. I believe in every one of yous out there because I didn't believe in myself at one time, but other people believed in me, and look where I'm at now.
Yeah. Well, I want to say two more things as we wrap up here. I really like what you did with the do, brother, because the last show, I think we still had a little hair. Didn't you still have it? It looks a lot better now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Now,
had a little bit left.
and the next time you talk to Malad, ask him if he can teach me how to dance. I just saw one of his videos on stage where Malad was breaking it down, bro. He's got the energy. I need to learn those moves, though.
he has inspired me probably, other than God, he has inspired me probably more than anybody in my life, because he was the first person that introduced me to like affiliate marketing and the life. I mean, he's living life, man. He is living life. You know, he works by the pool. He works on different islands. He travels the world. I don't even know if he ever stays at his house anymore. And it's all because of believing in himself, putting in the work now, and eventually it takes off the spite of you. And then you can live the life you want on your terms.
Absolutely. Well, Greg, this has been an awesome show, and I know people are going to get a lot of value from it. So thanks for being here today, brother.
Yeah, thank you, man. I'll see you guys.
All right, guys, thank you for watching Podcast on Wheels. If you have any questions, DM me, DM Greg. We can get you hooked up with a Koschex, Medi, all of the above. Or if you just need somebody to share a good word for you, we're here for you. We've been there, done that, and we're on the other side of it. So thank you guys for watching Podcast on Wheels. Great job, brother.